Welcome to the next instalment of Work, Fish, Sleep, Repeat. Today you find me in deepest, darkest Essex at Churchgate Fisheries. A few lakes to choose from on the complex, and I'm actually on the lake that's in the middle, if you like, the Members Lake. Unfortunately for my guest, he's stuck in traffic, so it's meant that I've been able to get down here with the kit just a little bit before him, and I found a little bit of fizzing off the side of the island. So I've got a little chod already tied up with a bait already in place. I'm going to get a rig on it now and see if I can get a bite before he even gets down here. As I've stressed the whole way through, these time is of the absolute essence, so every minute with a bait spent in the water gives me far more chance of getting a bite. So without further ado, I want to get it in the water now. Well, as you can see, Aris has finally joined me. It's now 10 to 8, and yet again the M25 has done him an injustice. How'd you feel, mate?
Welcome to my world.
That's the beauty of sometimes working in the office and planning the trip for about half hour away. However, light is going fast. I know you've had a little let around in your area, Aris. What have you found?
There's a couple of fishable spots. It's pretty claggy out there, but I found a couple of hardish spots, bit of gravel, bit of depth's the main thing on here so far. So
yeah, so you're ready to go?
Days, yeah, pretty
well,
close.
I don't want to keep him too long. He wants to get his rods out, so go and get it done, son. Good luck, mate.
I don't fish weekends. I think I've still got a social life, even though I'm nearly knocking on 40's door. But yeah, I like to get out and about at the weekend, so I don't like fishing. Places 9 times out of 10 that are busy at the weekend. So no, midweek overnighters is my cup of tea, and has been for many a year now, to be honest. And I will do as many as I can. I'll do a minimum of 2. I've been known to do 5 or 6, but it's normally around 3 nights a week. And that's obviously straight from work and then pack up in the morning and back out on the road again. Fishing's my escape. So I mean, it's escape. When you've had a hard week at work, it's somewhere nice to go and get back in contact with your thoughts. I don't find these overnighters strenuous at all. Like I say, you get into a swing of things, you get into a run. In the end, you're turning up, you set up and on the money within an hour, you're done. Same as packing away in the morning. From the second I get out of my bed, I can be packed up and on the barrel within 25 minutes. Yeah, again, you tailor your gear down to the bare essentials of what you need to take. I'll never be scratching around in a bag trying to think, oh, I wish I bought this, I wish I bought that. I've just got everything exactly where I need it. I can rummage around in the dark and find things in a bag by just dropping my hand over the side of the bed chair. I know where everything is. You just get into a swing of things, and you enjoy that side of it as well. When you feel like you're fishing well, and you are, like, say you're blanking, it doesn't matter. You know you've done everything you can.
Well, as you can see, we've got a fish on. Unfortunately, I should have had more to show you. In the last 15 minutes, it's gone absolutely crazy. I had a bite from the far margin rod, got it in the net, all nice, upper double common, really, really nice fish. I just left it in the net at the side of the swim because unfortunately Elliot had to get something from the car. And in the time it took him to get back, I was just sitting there getting another rig ready, got the rig back, you know, getting the rod clipped up, ready to go, another rig ready to go. And as I just watched out, saw the carp come up like a tarpon, straight out of the net and back into the water. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you it, but the same rod has just absolutely ripped off again. So hopefully I can actually lift this one up for the cameras. The whole time he's got in close, he knows where the reeds are. He's been trying to bury his head, but just sort of keeping the rod under water, a little bit of gentle side strain, and he's just, you know, come round. No need to try and beef him out. He's just coming round nicely. And this is the bit of the fight I always say, this is where things can go wrong. You know, you've got the bite, you spent all that time getting him in, and you just want to bundle him, or a lot of people, you just want to bundle him in the net. This is the bit to enjoy, you know, let him fight back a bit. This is where there's less stretch in the line, you know, there's a lot more that can go wrong just under the rod tip. So, yeah, I've got the back wind on. If he decides to go off into the middle of the lake, and I'm going to let him, I'm not going to try and stop him just because he's got all the way in. And hopefully, it's just a case now of trying to coax him up. Another nice fish, mid-double common. Oh, they just do keep trying to get in the reeds. Oh, well, what a relief to get another one in the net. As you can see, the light's fading, but I promise you I'm going to get this one out straight away so you can at least have a look at this one. Happy days. Well, there we go, a couple of fish just before dark. Admittedly, one got away like I told you about, but it's nice to get one on the bank to show you. How about you, Aaron? Just about got your rods out before dark. Are
Yes,
you
mate, yeah.
you happy with how it's looking?
Yeah, they're both on the spot, so we'll see what the night brings.
I've certainly seen plenty of activity in front of you, so
Yeah, mate.
I'm expecting big things.
Hopefully, yeah. Not big fish though.
But there we go. We're going into the night now. Things are looking good. There's fish showing everywhere, and because I've just had a couple of very quick bites, I'm certainly confident there's going to be more to show you in the morning. Morning. Well, what an eventful night that's turned out to be. We've had wind, rain, it's been quite a night of all the elements thrown at us, but thankfully the fish have played ball. This is actually fish number 8, so I've not had much sleep at all. Not really looking forward to work today, but never mind. As you can probably tell, last night we were a little bit pressed for time. Unfortunately, Aris got stuck in traffic, so it all made us a little bit behind schedule, so I didn't really get to talk tactics. So what we're going to do, I'm going to slip this one back, and before we go, just going to talk you through exactly what we did to catch the fish.
You get some people who don't mind fishing waters where, like I say, they call them peas in a pod. And that's not knocking it. At the end of the day, they're carp. It's carp fishing, but I like to catch individual-looking fish. Do you know what I mean? I won't knock a man for coming somewhere where he'll catch 12, 15 in a night. They all might look the same. They all might be single-figure low doubles. It doesn't matter as long as he's enjoying himself. He's looking after the fish. He's doing what he wants to do. Neil's a prime example. The man loves a bite. Don't get me wrong, he does fish these syndicates where he'll be targeting fish individually. He did on Star Lane, you'll notoriously know about him. He tried to keep it quiet, there's a fish he caught out of there, the linear. But I think a few people know about it now. But no, Neil's happy to get a bite. He loves his angling. You'll put him anywhere and he'll adapt. I mean, this is his cup of tea, do you know what I mean? He'll come down here, he'll put in maximum effort and he'll catch them. And he's a family man, he's got 3 kids. It's not easy being away from home. But yeah, he does it and he makes the most of it.
We'll talk about a contrasting session. We've got about an hour left now, but I mean, last night I obviously had time on my side. I managed to get down here for about 5:30, a good sort of 2.5 hours before Aris here. Unfortunately, as we've mentioned, traffic let him down, but it gave me a little bit more time to have a look around. I found a swim that had some active fish in. I could have waited for Aris to get here, but I didn't want to. Time's of the essence. I wanted to get some fish on the bank, and thankfully that's what's happened. I've actually had 10 or 11 bites, like including bream and the lost ones. Managed to put 8 on the bank with a little bit of time left, but rounding your little swim, mate, it's been a bit different, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah. I was, like you say about the traffic, I was on the back foot from the start. Got here late. Didn't really have much choice. Went obviously down the bottom there. A couple of fish showed, as you know, when we got here.
Yeah.
So it obviously looked like a good place to start. Had a quick lead about. Found a couple of half decent spots, very shallow, but got a decent drop. So the baits went on them literally just before dark. Expecting one of the rods to go off in the night, and nothing. The fish moved out probably an hour after dark. And
you even had a little, I mean, we were sort of up after dark, obviously once earlier gone, you even moved a rod, didn't you? Because there was an area of, the activity seemed quite strong in one particular area.
Yeah, it did, yeah, but didn't do the business.
That's the way it goes sometimes, isn't it, mate?
It is, mate, yeah, it is.
But as we've said, preparation's key. I managed to have an extra, I had a bit of time to tie some rigs up. I could see exactly where one of my rigs to go. Not because I didn't lead around to find a spot, but I could see where the fish wanted to be fed. They were already feeding. So it was more or less a case of me just setting a little trap, light leads, quite short, supple hook links, so I knew whatever was out there I could present a rig on. And to be fair, started catching from the off. Aris didn't quite get the same. However, just down from me, there's another little swim, and Aris has been mooching around. He's been up early trying to put things right, and he has spotted a little bit of activity in another swim. We've got about an hour left, so you can have a move, aren't you, mate?
I'm going to have a go, yeah. I'm going to have a little go. Because like I say, when I turned up last night, all the kit that I had on my rods was set up for my normal style of fishing, because this isn't what my normal cup of tea. That all has to be cut down. So I've now sort of got the tactics on that is needed for somewhere like this.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to drop in next door for an hour or so and see how...
Yeah.
See if we can,
and there you go, there's just a couple of highlights there, which we've said all the way along this little series. Preparation's king. If he'd have known the lake, he could have had some rigs tied. Even if he'd fished it before, he would have had some rigs tied. As I said, I've had time on my side. I even had a few little rigs in my box because I do fish a few different types of waters, unlike Paul. But It's all about where you put your bait. Aris has found some fish, so he's going to have a move now, see if he can nick one just before he goes back to work.
I'll do a hell of a lot of fishing without my rods in the water, if that makes sense. If I'm fishing a particular swim, I will pre-bait it a couple of 3 times a week when I'm not fishing. It is a tactic that works quite well where I'm fishing at the moment. And when I say pre-baiting, I don't mean going stoving it full of kilos of boilies at a time. Literally going down there with half a key of boilies, maybe halving them with a cutter. So basically, for the half a key of boilies, you're almost fishing with a kilo's worth of actual offerings itself. Bit of particle, bit of cold, things like that. Just little and often. Effort equals rewards. It really does. And to be honest, somewhere like this where we are now, you've got the mindset of not putting in the effort because you think there's loads of fish in here, they're going to be hungry. You still need to put in the effort. Yes, there's waters out there where you can just flick them out and just get bites on singles and things, but don't be blasé about things. Treat everywhere, put in maximum effort. Every overnight that you do, no matter whether it's on a rock art venue or somewhere like this, put the effort in. But yeah, put it up here last night, a couple of fish showed in that corner. It turned out to be no carp corner in the end. And yeah, there wasn't a lot of effort put in, to be honest. 2 underarm flicks onto an half decent drop, very shallow water, like I say. Just presumed, style of place it is, I'll get a bite, and didn't. So, and hence we moved up here for an hour just to flick them out in a couple of fizzers and see if we can nail one in the depth.
Well, there we go. The session's unfortunately come to an end. I'd love to stay here all day if I could and catch a few more, but we've got to go to work. I think, you know, to summarise, it just proves what that little bit of extra time can do for you. I managed to get her a little bit before Aris. Unfortunately for him, it did give me picker swims, and I found the fish beforehand. Unfortunately for you, mate, it just didn't really happen, did it?
No carp corner.
Really?
Yeah, well,
It's calling.
they were there to start with, but hour after dark. I got the rods out just before dark. Hour after dark, they moved out and didn't return, unfortunately.
No, they didn't, mate.
Shift this morning, but
yeah, well, you had to go, mate. Like, and that's an important thing. A lot of people for that last hour wouldn't have bothered to try, but you know, you made the move, took your rods down, sat there for an hour. It didn't happen, but you know, you had to go. You can honestly say that you did everything you could to try and nick one whilst we were still here.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a little thing there. I don't know what your bosses are like, how accommodating they are, but if they'll let you work through your lunch hour to leave off at 4 and get down the lake for maybe up past, you might just get a better swim choice. Be lucky.